Ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans from around the globe, and especially to the millions of passionate supporters watching from the Philippines and across the Asian continent, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are not just previewing a tennis match. We are setting the stage for what could very well be the defining rivalry of Asian women's tennis for the next decade. The headlines are screaming, the forums are ablaze, and the tennis world has officially turned its eyes to Manila. The title of this segment is not an exaggeration. All of China shocked. Why? Because for the first time in recent memory, the hierarchy of power in Asian tennis is trembling. We are standing on the precipice of the inaugural Philippine Women's Open, a historic WTA 125 event that marks the first time the Women's Tennis Association has planted its flag on Philippine soil. But the story here isn't just about the venue. It isn't just about the prize money or the ranking points. The story is about a collision course that was charted just weeks ago in Auckland, New Zealand, and is now destined to reach its boiling point in the heat of Manila. We are talking about the pride of the Philippines, the 20-year-old sensation, Alexandra Eala, going head-to-head against the established Chinese powerhouse, Xinyu Wang. Let's rewind the clock just a few weeks. The ASB Classic in Auckland, a WTA 250 semifinal that was supposed to be a routine progression for the higher-ranked Chinese star. Xinyu Wang, sitting comfortably inside the top 50, a player with Grand Slam doubles glory and a reputation for heavy, flat hitting that can dismantle defenses on any hard court. On the other side of the net stood Alexandra Eala, the underdog, the challenger, the young Filipina who's been grinding through the ITF circuit, sharpening her weapons at the Rafa Nadal Academy, waiting for her moment to strike at the tour level. What happened on that court in Auckland didn't just surprise the pundits. It sent a shockwave through the Chinese tennis community. Wang Xinyu, the heavy favorite, was pushed to the absolute brink. We saw Eala take the first set. We saw Eala breaking serves that were clocking in at speeds that would trouble the world's best. We saw a level of tenacity and tactical maturity from the Filipina that forced Wang to dig deeper than she has had to against a regional rival in years. Wang survived that match, barely. She won in 3 grueling sets, 7-5, 5-7, 4-6, in a contest that lasted nearly 3 hours. But the message was sent. The gap is closed. The easy wins for the established Asian powers against the rising Philippine star are over. Now, fast forward to today, January 2026. The scene shifts to the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. The surface is hard. The air is humid. The crowd is going to be unlike anything Xinyu Wang has ever faced. We know the passion of the Filipino fans. We saw them in Melbourne at the Australian Open just days ago, cheering for every point, turning Court 6 into a coliseum. Now imagine the energy amplified by thousands on home soil. This all of China shock narrative stems from the realization that Eala is no longer a future prospect. She is a present danger. For Chinese tennis, which has enjoyed a golden era with players like Zheng Qinwen and Xinyu Wang leading the charge, the sudden emergence of a genuine rival from Southeast Asia disrupts the status quo. If Eala can defeat Wang here, in Manila, it's not just a tournament win. It is a changing of the guard. It is a declaration that the epicenter of Asian tennis talent is expanding. In this deep dive, we are going to break down everything. We will analyze the forensic details of their Auckland encounter to understand exactly where Eala hurt Wang and where Wang found her escape route. We will look at the technical matchup. Eala's lefty forehand with that heavy topspin versus Wang's laser-flat backhand. We will discuss the mental warfare of playing at home. Is it a devastating advantage for Eala or a crushing weight of expectation? And we will look at the stakes, ranking implications, the psychological edge for the rest of the 2026 season, and the sheer pride of 2 nations battling for regional supremacy. Buckle up. This is not just a preview. This is the autopsy of a rivalry that is just being born. This is Alexandra Eala versus Xinyu Wang. The rematch, the Philippine Open. Let's get into it. To truly understand the gravity of this matchup, we have to strip away the hype for a moment and look at the cold, hard reality of who these 2 women are and the paths that have led them to this collision in Manila. This is a study in contrasts, not just in playing style, but in the very architecture of their careers. Let's start with Xinyu Wang. Born in Shenzhen, She is a product of a system that knows how to manufacture champions. Standing at 6 feet tall, she fits the prototype of the modern tennis gladiator. Her game is built on efficient, brutal power. If you watch Wang play, you notice immediately that she doesn't like to waste time. She hits the ball flat, very flat. Her backhand is a compact, linear stroke that skids through the court, taking time away from her opponents. She is what we call a first-strike player. She wants to hit the winner within the first 3 shots of the rally. Wang's rise has been steady. She's had the Grand Slam success in doubles, which has improved her net game and her volley significantly, making her a dangerous all-court threat. But her singles career has been about finding consistency in that high-risk power game. When she is on, she can hit anyone off the court. But when she is off, when the timing is just a fraction of a second late, those flat shots find the net or sail long. That is her vulnerability. That is the crack in the armor. Now look at Alexandra Eala. The narrative around Eala has always been about potential, but 2025 and early 2026 have been the years of realization. Training at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca has infused her game with a very specific DNA. You see it in her forehand. Unlike Wang's flat missiles, Eala plays with a heavy lefty topspin. It's a ball that jumps up on you. It's a ball that pushes you back behind the baseline. Being a left-hander is already a massive tactical advantage in tennis, particularly on the serve out wide in the ad court, and Eala uses this to open up the geometry of the court. But Eala's greatest weapon, and this was fully on display in her Auckland semifinal, is her grind. She has that Spanish clay court mentality on a hard court. She refuses to give up on a point. While Wang wants to end the point in 3 shots, Eala is happy to play 10, 12, 15 shots, moving Wang side to side, testing the taller player's movement, waiting for the error or the short ball to attack. This clash of styles, the flat hitter versus a topspin grinder, is a classic unstoppable force meets immovable object scenario. The Auckland autopsy. What happened in the semifinal? We cannot talk about the Philippine Open without dissecting the match that happened just weeks ago at the ASB Classic. That match was the trailer for the movie we are about to watch. In the first set of that semifinal, Eala shocked Wang by absorbing the pace. Wang came out firing, trying to bully the Filipina, but Eala stood her ground on the baseline. She didn't retreat. She used Wang's pace against her, redirecting the ball down the line. Eala took that first set 7-5 because she was the more disciplined player. She forced Wang go for too much, too soon. The unforced error count for Wang in that first set was a primary reason for the shock we saw in the Chinese media. They expected Wang to roll over the lower-ranked player, but instead, Wang looked rattled. However, the second and third sets revealed why Xinyu Wang is a top 50 player. She adjusted. She stopped trying to hit through Eala and started adding more margin to her shots. She started targeting Eala's serve. And this, folks, is the key tactical battleground for the Philippine Open, the serve. If there's a weakness in Alex Eala's game right now, it is the second serve. In Auckland, once Wang realized she could step inside the baseline and attack Eala's second serve, the momentum shifted. Wang was winning over 60% of the points when returning Eala's second serve in the final set. That is a statistic that Eala and her coaching team at the Nadal Academy surely have been losing sleep over. For Eala to win in Manila, she doesn't need to hit harder. She needs to place that serve better. She needs to keep Wang guessing. If Wang knows where the serve is going, the point is effectively over before it begins. The home court factor, Manila as the X factor. Now, let's introduce a variable that didn't exist in Auckland, the venue. The Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. Tennis is often seen as a solitary sport, a quiet sport. But anyone who follows the game globally knows that playing at home can transform a player. We saw it with Andy Murray at Wimbledon. We see it with the French players at Roland Garros. For Alex Eala, this is the first time she gets to bring the full force of the Filipino spirit onto the court in a WTA event. The Philippine crowd is unique. It is loud. It is emotional. In Auckland, the crowd was polite. In Manila, the crowd will be a weapon. Every time Xinyu Wang misses a first serve, she will hear the murmur. Every time Eala hits a winner, the roar will be deafening. This creates a psychological pressure cooker. For Wang, a player who could be prone to mental lapses when her rhythm is broken, this hostile environment is a major hurdle. Can she block out the noise? Can she maintain her focus when 2,000 people are actively willing her to fail? But this sword cuts both ways. We have to be honest about the pressure on Alexandra Eala. She is not just a tennis player in the Philippines. She is a national icon. She is the golden girl. The expectation is not just to compete. It is to win. We saw in the Australian Open first round against Alicia Parks that Eala started incredibly strong, but faded as the match went on. Some of that was physical, but some of it was the weight of the moment. Playing in Manila, with her family, her friends, and her government officials watching, brings a level of anxiety that can tighten the muscles. If Eala comes out too amped up, too desperate to please the crowd, she might overhit. She might abandon her tactical game plan in favor of trying to hit hero shots. The technical matchup, lefty spin versus flat power. Let's get technical for a moment. I want to focus on the cross-court exchange. Eala's forehand, her strongest wing, goes cross-court into Wang's backhand, her most solid wing. This is where the majority of the rallies will take place. Eala's goal will be to use her heavy topspin to push Wang back. If she can get the ball to bounce high, above Wang's shoulder, Wang cannot hit her flat, laser-like drive. She will be forced to roll the ball back, which is not her game. Eala needs to make this a physical battle. She needs to make Wang lift the ball. Wang, conversely, will try to take the ball early on the rise, before Eala's topspin takes effect. She will try to rush Eala. The playing conditions in Manila will play a huge role here. If the courts are fast, it favors Wang. If the courts are gritty and slow, favoring the spin, it favors Eala. The heat and humidity also factor in. Wang is from Shenzhen, so she is used to humidity, but the intensity of Manila afternoon is a different beast. Eala has been training in the heat. She knows this air. If the match goes to a third set, physical conditioning will be the deciding factor. In Auckland, Wang had the legs in the third set. Eala needs to prove that her fitness has improved even in the short window. Since then, the shock factor explained. Why is the title All of China shocked? It's not just clickbait. It reflects the genuine surprise at the speed of Eala's ascent. For a long time, Chinese tennis has looked at Southeast Asia as a step below. They look at Japan as rivals. They look at the West as rivals. But the Philippines? Historically, not a threat on the WTA Tour. Alexandra Eala is changing the geopolitical map of Asian tennis. By pushing Wang to the limit in Auckland, she signaled that the days of Chinese dominance going unchallenged in the region are ending. A win for Eala in Manila wouldn't just be a trophy. It would be a signal to the Chinese Tennis Association that they have a serious problem on their doorstep. It creates a rivalry, and tennis needs rivalries. We need an Eala versus Wang narrative to drive interest in the Asian swing of the tour. If Wang loses to Eala in a WTA 125 event, it hurts her ranking, yes, but it hurts the aura of invincibility more. Wang is fighting to break into the top 30, maybe top 20. Losing to a player ranked outside the top 100, or hovering near it, is a setback she cannot afford if she wants to be taken seriously as a Grand Slam contender. The draw on the path. In a head-to-head preview, we must also consider the tournament context. The Philippine Open is a WTA 125. The field is strong but top-heavy. As a local favorite, Eala has likely received a favorable draw or placement, but the collision with Wang is the match everyone is circling. If they meet, it will likely be in the later stages, the semifinals or the final. This means both players will have had time to acclimatize to the courts. They will be in rhythm. There will be no excuses about rust or jet lag from Melbourne. This will be two players in peak mid-season form. Even though it's January, the season is in full swing for them. We must also look at their recent Australian Open performances. Both exited early in singles. This is crucial. It means they are fresh. They are hungry. They are looking for redemption. Usually, after a Grand Slam, players are exhausted. But a first-round exit? That leaves a sour taste. It provides motivation. Wang wants to prove her AO loss was a fluke. Eala wants to prove her AO experience made her stronger. Manila is a redemption arc for both of them. As we begin to wrap up this extensive preview, I want you to take a moment to appreciate the rarity of this moment. In sports, we often get caught up in the big three or the Grand Slam finals, and we overlook the tectonic shifts happening just beneath the surface. What we are witnessing with Alexandra Eala and Xinyu Wang is the birth of a regional El Clasico. It is a battle for territory, a battle for pride, and a battle for the future of Asian tennis. The All of China Shocked headline isn't just about one match in Auckland. It is about the sudden realization that the landscape has changed. The comfortable gap between the established Chinese stars and the chasing pack has evaporated. Alex Eala has erased it. She has erased it with grit, with a heavy lefty forehand, and with a belief that she belongs on the same court as the world's best. For Xinyu Wang, the Philippine Open is a trap game. It is a high-risk, high-reward scenario. If she wins, she did what she was supposed to do: beat the lower-ranked local favorite. But if she loses, if she falls at Eala in front of a roaring Manila crowd, the questions will start to mount. The pressure will increase. The shock will turn into genuine concern about her ability to close out matches against gritty defenders. For Alexandra Eala, this is the moment of truth. She has the game. We saw it in Auckland. She has the crowd. She will see it in Manila. Now, she needs the execution. She needs to serve smart. She needs to manage her nerves. She needs a turn that almost won into a did win. This match, if and when it happens in the draw, will be physical. It will be loud, and it will be incredibly close. My prediction? I think the conditions in Manila, the heat, the humidity, and the crowd, tilt the scale slightly in favor of the underdog. I believe Eala learned more from that loss in Auckland than Wang did from the win. I believe Eala will make the tactical adjustment on the second serve, and I believe the sheer will of the Filipino fans will carry her through the tight moments in the third set. But make no mistake, Xinyu Wang is a world-class athlete. She has the firepower to silence the crowd. If she serves well, if she hits her spots, she can take the racket out of Eala's hands. That is the beauty of this sport. On any given Sunday, anything can happen. So, here is what I need you to do. Do not miss this tournament. The Philippine Women's Open is not just a stepping stone. It is a battleground. Keep your eyes on the draw. Watch for the Eala versus Wang collision. Because when these two meet, it's not just tennis. It's a statement. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Who do you have winning the rematch? Do you think the home court advantage in Manila is enough to bridge the gap for Alex Eala? Or will Xinyu Wang's raw power and experience be too much for the young Filipina to handle? Does the all of China shock narrative hold up? Or do you think Wang will restore order? Drop your predictions, your analysis, and your messages of support for your favorite player down below. I read every single comment, and I want to know what the pulse of the tennis community is right now. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis and want more extensive coverage of the Asian tennis swing, the rise of Alex Eala and the global WTA Tour, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to bring you these long-form breakdowns. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breaking update. We will be covering the Philippine Open round by round. We will be there if the upset happens. We will be there if the favorite dominates. This is just the beginning of the season, and the drama is already at fever pitch. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your passion for the sport. From the baseline to the net, keep your eyes on the ball. I'll see you in the next video.